International Airport. Employee Timothy Boylat was in the building when the shooting began.
We heard two loud metal clangs at first because they didn't sound like gunshots at first.
City's deputy police chief told CNN that police never fired their weapons. The shooter killed himself. 5 other people were taken to hospitals with gunshot wounds. The White House says President Biden will be briefed on the shooting this morning. Later today, he hosts a foreign leader at the White House for the first time. It'll be Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga. A major issue, according to Scott Harold, the associate director of the RAND Center for Asia-Pacific Policy, will be China.
That question of how Japan links its policy up with that of the United States, the UK, Europe, and Canada on the question of how to respond to China's genocide in Xinjiang is going to be one of the topics at this summit meeting.
Former Brooklyn Center, Minnesota police officer Kim Potter was arraigned Thursday on a charge of second-degree manslaughter. She's now free on bond. This follows the fatal shooting over the weekend of Dante Wright when Potter fired her gun instead of her taser at the unarmed man. Wright's mother, Katie Wright, tells ABC that watching a video of the hearing was very difficult.
The wave is what really hurt my heart. She was able to just wave in the camera.
That courtroom not far from where former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin is on trial for the killing of George Floyd. Chauvin's defense rested Thursday without testimony from the former police officer. Closing arguments will take place next week. The head of Pfizer says people will likely need a third coronavirus booster shot within a year of getting vaccinated, and that yearly booster shots could be necessary. You're listening to ABC News.
Paid for by government.com.
Have you heard? A recent stash of 1879 $10 Gold Liberty coins has been found. These gorgeous 1879p gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck, and less than 30 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Just call government.com at 1-800-333-2210, and you are guaranteed a mint condition 1879 $10 Gold Liberty struck at the iconic Philadelphia Mint. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These 1879 gold coins are still in uncirculated condition. That is 142 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-333-2210. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package of $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-333-2210 now to secure your 1879p Gold Liberty coins before they sell out. That's 1-800-333-2210.
Texas lawmakers are moving ahead on a bill that would let gun owners there carry their handguns in public without a permit. Measure passing largely along party lines in the House after Democrats tried several times to tweak or kill the bill. If it becomes law, Texas will be the largest of the roughly 20 states that allow people to carry guns without a permit. In Washington, House Democrats, along with the vote of a single Republican, Pennsylvania's Brian Fitzpatrick, approved a measure aimed at closing the wage gap between men and women. But that bill faces an uncertain future in the Senate. China's economy's been on a rocket ride recovery after the slowdowns brought on by the pandemic. ABC's Daria Albinger has details.
China's economic growth soared more than 18% over this time last year as the nation continues to recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. Last year, Beijing's gross domestic product, a snapshot of all goods and services produced, suffered its deepest contraction in decades. But business activity returned mostly to normal after the Communist Party declared victory over the virus and began to allow factories and stores to reopen. By comparison, the last GDP reading for the U.S. was 4.3%. Daria Albinger, ABC News, New York.
Google Earth taking users on a new journey through climate change. Using millions of satellite images, a new time-lapse feature takes users through 40 years of changes in a matter of seconds. This is ABC News.
It's all about the nose. It's your air filter, the first line of defense against bacteria and viruses. If too many germs get stuck in your nose, guess what? You get sick. That's why it's so important to keep your nose clean, just like washing your hands. Now there's a better way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself. It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
You know, folks are saying once you've used a Massey Ferguson, you won't ever want another tractor. They're tough, versatile, and dependable. And now with the change of season special at NC Tractor and Farm Supply, you'll be wise to get your special deal. Our tractors have been running in families for generations. Ask about the Phil Sheehan special going on right now. NC Tractor, 299 Railroad Avenue, Rutherfordton. Call 288-0395.
Good morning and happy Friday. We're seeing a chilly start to your Friday morning with a mostly clear sky out there. Expect plenty of sunshine through the morning and early afternoon today. Highs in the mid to upper 60s and near 70. Partly cloudy sky this evening and overnight tonight. We're back in the 40s to near 50s Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, a mostly cloudy sky. Just a few small showers are possible. Highs in the low to mid 60s on Saturday. More showers are possible Saturday night, looking drier on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Once the sun rises this morning, it's going to be a beautiful day in the neighborhood, getting up to about 68 around here in the Tri-City area, foothills. Wind gusting to about 13 miles per hour, so a little wind to deal with those pollen, throw that pollen around, right in our eyes and the ears and our nose and throat and all that. But the rain will come in here on Saturday and maybe wash them right out of our faces. 46 degrees right now here at WCAB in Rapton. And we're so glad to have you on board with us for the morning report coming up here in just a few minutes. Now, wouldn't it be nice to get medical attention and not have to leave your home? Now you can, thanks to Remote MD. Remote MD is pleased to announce they have initiated a telemedicine program for residents in North Carolina. The telemedicine program is available to all residents in North Carolina, including Rutherford and Polk counties. It is designed to treat common medical illnesses right from your home. Now, isn't that great? No appointment is necessary, no waiting for days to see someone. This is a wonderful opportunity for people who are struggling financially or have a complicated insurance plan. But your health is important to you and you want attention now. There are no copays or deductible, and unlimited usage programs start at just $59.99 a month. Learn more about this program. Contact Remote MD today at www.remotemd.net. Again, that's www.remotemd.net. Now I have these death announcements this morning. J. Von Logan, age 60, of Hudlow Road, Forest City, died March 31st at Rutherford Regional Hospital. A private memorial service will be held in Pruitt Funeral Home. Is in charge of those arrangements for J. Von Logan. Clyde E. Husky, age 89, of Forest City, passed away Saturday, April 10th at his residence. A graveside service will be conducted at 11 o'clock today at Florence Creek Baptist Church Cemetery. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangement, and the military honors will be provided by the Rutherford County Honor Guard at the funeral. For Clyde E. Husky. Eugene Harden, age 81, of Rutherfordton, died Monday, April 12th at home. The family will receive friends from 1 until 2 today at Fellowship Baptist Church in the Fellowship Hall. The funeral service will be at Fellowship Baptist Church at 2 o'clock today. Burial will be at Fellowship Baptist Church Cemetery following the service. Mike Mahan's funeral home and cremation service in charge of the arrangements for Eugene Harden. Wilma J. Fortune, 88, of High Point, died Tuesday, April 13th. The graveside service will be conducted at 3 o'clock today at First Broad Baptist Church Cemetery. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Services in charge of those arrangements for Wilma J. Fortune. Barbara Jane Foy Bell passed away April 13th at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. A celebration of life will be held 4 p.m. today at Soco Gap Road, Ellenboro. For Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Barbara Jane Foy Bell. Russell Lee Rusty Bridges, age 56, of Mooresboro, died Sunday, April 4th at Spartanburg Regional Medical Center. The family will hold a memorial service at the home of his daughter, Shannon Bridges, at 182 Hog Pen Branch Road, Mooresboro, Saturday, April 17th at 7 p.m. The Pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of those arrangements for Russell Lee Rusty Bridges. Barbara Jane B.J. Kaiser McRory, 76, of Rutherfordton, passed away April 14th. A memorial service will be held in the outdoor garden at First United Methodist Church, April 17th, North Main Street, Rutherfordton, at 11 o'clock. Following the service, the family will welcome family and friends at their home at 1589 Darlington Road, Rutherfordton, from 1 until 4. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Barbara Jane B.J. Kaiser McRory. John William Kelly Jr., 74, of Mill Spring, passed away Wednesday, April 15th and Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. Graveside services will be conducted at 2 o'clock Sunday, April 18th at Grassy Knob Baptist Church. And Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of John William Kelly, Jr.
Residents were subjected to verbal abuse and threatening behavior. No cops were dispatched, and nobody from city government responded to multiple complaint calls. The homeless migrated into the fashionable Chelsea neighborhood and created their own encampment. They blocked the entrances to local businesses, which were already struggling because of the lockdown, I should say struggling. Residents became increasingly frightened to walk the streets. Once thriving New York neighborhoods have had their economy shut down by Democrats, then they had to take the homeless into their hotels with no supervision, no law enforcement to speak of, and no protection given to the residents or businesses of these neighborhoods. The problem's gotten so out of control that the idiot Democrat mayor finally says it's time to get the homeless out of the hotels and back to the streets and the shelters. But de Blasio's providing no timeline on when that'll happen. Things are so bad in New York, it almost makes you feel sorry for the people who elected these liberals. Almost, I said, almost sorry.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The Atlanta Braves are back and ready to defend the East, and they're on a mission to make 2021 a season to remember.
And he strikes one high in the air to deep right field, and he spins around, and this one is out of the ballpark. Freddie Freeman struck it with all his might.
Today, the Braves are back on the road as they kick off the weekend against the Chicago Cubs. Live from historic Wrigley Field in Chicago, Braves Radio goes on the air at 1:05 Eastern, 12:05 Central on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
We don't want you on our team. You're too slow and fat.
This is weight bias.
Don't you care how you look?
Those with the serious disease called obesity face weight bias every day.
You're not the right fit for this job.
And blame themselves.
I wish I was different.
Weight bias hurts.
Let's stop weight bias. Be part of the solution.
Go to stopweightbias.com. A public service message from Obesity Action Coalition.
Friends don't let friends tune to any other radio station. Good friends recommend WCAB. Shouldn't you be a good friend?
Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there.
As a young girl, Phoebe Ann Moses had a natural skill with a rifle. She not only provided meat for her family, she harvested enough to sell it to stores. As a 15-year-old, she defeated a traveling sharpshooter by the name of Frank Butler. Frank was so smitten with her that later they got married. When Frank's partner became ill, Phoebe Ann took his place and became Annie Oakley. On April 17, 1885, Frank and Annie happened to be performing in New Orleans at the same time as Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. Seizing the opportunity, Frank and Annie asked Buffalo Bill for a job. Buffalo Bill said that he had plenty of sharpshooters, so Frank offered to work for free. In Louisville, Kentucky, Annie Oakley got her first chance to perform. The crowd of 17,000 fell in love with her. Dressed in cowboy boots and a wide-brimmed hat, within a short time, Annie Oakley became the star of the show and traveled with Buffalo Bill for 17 years. Annie never signed a contract with Buffalo Bill, saying his words were more than most contracts. Buffalo Bill called her Little Missy. Sitting Bull called her Little Sure Shot. Her husband, Frank Butler, was known as Mr. Annie Oakley. At the age of 41, Buffalo Bill's train crashed, seriously hurting Annie. Because of ongoing back problems, she stopped traveling and began performing on the stage and teaching shooting skills. After an automobile accident, she retired from the spotlight, and in 1926 she died. Devastated, her loving husband passed away 3 weeks later. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Well, it's 16 minutes after 7 o'clock on this, thank goodness it's finally Friday Friends Day, and we're going to the phones now, and we have Officer King with us on the other end of the Sheriff's Report to give us that report. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you today, Jim?
Doing great for a Friday. I'm glad it's finally Friday, friend.
Yes, sir.
Tell us what's been going on over there.
In the past 24 hours, Sheriff's Department responded to 166 calls for service. There were 14 arrests processed in the jail, and the jail currently has 141 people incarcerated. On our incident reports, Sarah Holt from Camp Road in Rutherford reported a breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering. And a Joseph Millwood from Rock Corner Road in Forest City reported a communicating threats. On our arrest reports, Joshua Van Buskirk from Treasure Way in Rutherford was arrested, charged with communicating threats, simple assault, injury to personal property, assault and battery, driving while license revoked, reckless driving to endanger, misuse of the 911 system, and resist, obstruct, delay a public officer. Received a $10,000 secured bond. Austin Mullinax from Butler Road in Forest City was served with 3 counts failure to appear on misdemeanor. No bond listed on that one. Christopher Brown from Mellon Drive in Rutherford was charged with possession of drug paraphernalia, received a $1,000 secured bond. Zachary Bumgardner from West Mountain Street in Rutherford was served with warrants for obtaining property by false pretense, identity theft, and felony larceny, received a $50,000 secured bond. And Jacob Shores from Johnsonville Lockhart Highway out of Union, South Carolina, was served with warrants for first-degree trespass, injury to personal property, and felony larceny, and he received a $20,000 secured bond. And that's all we have for today.
You know, there's never any dull moments in your office, in your department, is there?
No, sir. Always something going on.
Always something going on. Officer King, we do appreciate you being with us on the radio, and you have a safe day out there.
All right. Thank you, Jim. You have a good one.
Bye-bye. 18 minutes after 7 here on WCAB. Now, wouldn't it be nice to get medical attention and not have to leave your home? Now you can, thanks to Remote MD. Remote MD is pleased to announce they have initiated a telemedicine program for residents in North Carolina. The telemedicine program is available to all residents in North Carolina, including Rutherford and Polk counties. It is designed to treat common medical illnesses right from your home. Now, isn't that great? No appointment is necessary, no waiting for days to see someone. This is a wonderful opportunity for people who are struggling financially or have a complicated insurance plan. But your health is important to you, and you want attention now. There are no copays or deductible, and unlimited usage programs start at just $59.99 a month. Learn more about this program. Contact Remote MD today at www.remotemd.net. Again, that's www.remotemd.net. Now let's turn our attention to 911 Communications Center and find out what kind of calls they've received. And Lindsay's on the phone right now to give us that news. Lindsay, good morning.
Good morning.
What kind of calls have you folks had the past 24 hours?
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 488 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 43 EMS, 33 rescue. Under law enforcement, 166 Sheriff's Office, 73 Forest City, 4 Lake Lure, 32 Rutherfordton, and 55 Spindale. Under fire calls, Cliffside had a structure fire, assisting department Forest City, SDO, and Sandy Mush. Forest City had an industrial fire alarm. Rutherfordton had a structure fire assisting Department Spindale, and Spindale also had a motor vehicle accident, and that is all.
Lindsay, thank you very much. I hope you have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Bye. 911, check it in. Well, Spindale Fire and Police are investigating an accident that occurred on Spindale Street yesterday afternoon. A Spindale man was airlifted to Spartanburg Regional after being hit while cutting grass on a riding mower. About 7 p.m. Thursday evening, the police were still on the scene. The name of the person hit and those involved are currently being withheld. More information will be made available as it becomes available to us here at WCAB. We'll get to our next phone call in just a moment.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush. Brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Now we're checking in with the Shiloh, Danieltown, Oakland community, and Ruby Taylor's on the phone to give us that update. Good morning, Ruby.
Good morning.
What's on that report?
Well, they assisted one department on a structure fire, and on my birthday counter today, I've got Josh Boone and Jeremy Boone, and they're not twins, they're brothers. And I hope they have a nice day. And tomorrow, Shannon Henson and Jody Ford is having birthday. And then Sunday, Kenny Cole and Mickey White is having birthdays, and I hope all these people have a nice day. And the sons are in the arms today and going to the breast tomorrow and Sunday. And, Jim, that's all I got.
I do appreciate it, Ruby. You have a good weekend.
You too,
Thanks.
and bye-bye.
Bye.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as the spring and summer colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
We're checking in now with the Fairfield Mountains Fire District, and Gary Wilson is there for us. Thank goodness it's finally Friday Friends Day. Gary, how you doing?
Doing good, Jim. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. I don't know where all my help is this morning, but I guess they'll decide to come to work at some point.
It would be nice to have a little help sometime, wouldn't it?
Sometimes this morning does get a little busy, but that's okay. We can handle it. What's been going on up there?
Show. It's been quiet up here. We've had a good 24 hours, no calls or anything, and sitting on about 40 degrees this morning. A little chilly out there, but clear as well. Otherwise, it looks like it's going to be a pretty day coming up. Going to get up around 70, so can't beat that. And we've got one announcement this coming Saturday at Bills Creek Fire Department. Be having their yard sale from 7 to 3, and biscuits and coffee that morning for breakfast, and then hamburgers and hot dogs for lunch. So a little bit of everything to do out there. Hope everybody will come by and support that for good cause for their fire department. And other than that, don't have anything else to report, Jim. Everything going on pretty peaceful.
They have it planned up there where you can spend just about the whole day with them. Eat breakfast, do some shopping, and hang around for lunch.
Breakfast, buy yourself a living room set, and then go back and eat lunch.
There you go. That's a pretty good day. For good calls, too.
Yes, it is.
Well, Gary, I hope your weekend's good and be safe up there, and we'll check back in with you next time.
All right, you too, Jim.
See you, Gary. Bye-bye. Fairfield Mountains, Wheels Creek area, reporting in this morning with our friend Gary Wilson.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Hudlow Fire District is on our stop this morning, and there's Bob Hodge. Good morning, Bob.
Well, good Friday morning.
It certainly is indeed. When I thought this Friday was never coming, but it's finally here.
Well, I don't know. Seems like it passed pretty fast to me there. But I guess the older you get, the faster it goes there.
That's what I've heard.
Well, you'll get there one of these days.
Well, I hope so. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, Jim, things are going along good up here this morning. The suns are coming up. It's a little cool, but not too bad. And with the fire department, it was quiet overnight. Hadn't had any fire calls, so that's good. And, Jim, news is sort of short. Ain't too much going on up here this morning.
I like it when it's nice and quiet, don't you?
That's right. So maybe it'll stay that way for us there.
Maybe everybody get the weekend off and not have to go fight any fires or rescue anybody. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
That would be nice there. If we had a whole weekend with nobody having anything, that'd be good there.
Yes, that'd be great. Bob, I do appreciate you being on with us. Thanks for the report, and you hang with us, and we'll see you next time.
All right, Tim. Have a good weekend.
You too. Bye-bye. That's the Hudlow Volunteer Fire Department spokesman, Bob Hodge. It's 27 minutes after 7. High school football Friday night is tonight. We're traveling up to Murphy to do that broadcast with Murphy and Thomas Jefferson. And Mr. Friday Night, Jay Coombs, will be on the radio with me a little after 8 o'clock this morning to give us a description of what it looks like in that respect of high school playoffs. We'll have all of that for you exclusively right here.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
Farmers Friend Feed Seed and Supply is a variety store. Here's why I say that. Cedar shavings, 5.0 cubic feet, $7.99 per bag. They have Pontiac red potatoes, Kennebec potatoes, $18 for a 50-pound. River Run dog food, specially priced. Plenty of horse quality hay. Refill propane, $10.99 for a 20-pound tank. Wrangler Sweet Feed, $8.69 for the 50-pound bag. Cardinal Tissue and Paper Towels, 6-pack, $4.49. Farmers Friend Feed City and Supply is the largest farm supply store, and you should come and see how much you can save. 188 Whiteside Road, Rutherford. And they're always busy, but never too busy to help you find what you're looking for. 28 after 7. Let's go over to the Cherry Mountain Fire District. Sue Price, good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Hope you are.
Yes, indeed.
Well, good. It's a beautiful morning over here. The sun's coming up, and birds are here at the feeder, and everything seems to be going okay. Got no calls from the fire department. I don't have any birthdays or anniversaries on my church calendar. On my personal calendar, I've got Shirley Bradley, so Shirley's going to have a good day today. And let's see, Fairview's got a birthday for Tiffany Smith. And First Broad has Shirley Bradley. So we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day. And in my announcements, Saturday, April 17th, the barbecue supper, smoked chicken and pulled pork, Ruth Ann Hopewell Hollis Clubhouse, 2500 Hollis Road, Ellenboro. And that's from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Adults are $10, children 6 to 12, $5. And this is takeout only, so come by and pick you up a good box supper and go home wherever and enjoy it. They always have a good meal. And then the Golden Valley Community Club will resume their regular meetings Monday, April 19th at 7 p.m. with a potluck supper and a business meeting. And so far, that's the only announcements I have. It's just a quiet and calm over this way, and we're looking for a good day and a good weekend, and I hope you and Faye will have one.
Thank you. We sure have a lot of good cooks this part of the country, don't we?
Oh, we do.
So you have a good weekend. Enjoy it, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Sue Price reporting out of the Cherry Mountain Fire District. The Rutherford County Sheriff's Office is seeking a public's assistance in locating a missing person, Pamela Jackson LeGrand. LeGrand is a 56-year-old African-American female who was last seen April 13th in Rutherfordton. She may be wearing a blue button-up shirt and blue jeans. If you have any information regarding the whereabouts of LeGrand, please contact the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office at 286-2911 or Crime Stoppers at 286-8477.
Jim, have you seen Henson Building Materials' newly remodeled showroom? It's gorgeous.
You mean where they have a full line of hardware and building materials for homeowners and home builders?
I mean where Jamie, Terry, and Tony, their friendly staff, treat me like family. Oh, they're so nice.
Hey, are they taking COVID precautions and have curbside service?
Of course. They're so thoughtful.
I do need some materials, but I don't think they'll fit in our car.
Oh, silly. They have professional delivery so we can get whatever I want.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street in Forest City.
Building starts here.
All right, we're traveling up to Shingle Hollow Fire District this morning on this beautiful Friday morning. And Tina White's on the phone to give us the news from there. What's been happening, Tina?
Well, it's been a beautiful morning so far, 45 degrees out here, a little chillier than yesterday, but Shingle Hollow looks pretty this fabulous Friday. No calls from either fire department. Birthdays, we have Miss Lynthia Queen, Mr. Jacob Petit, and Deborah Bergen having birthdays today. Do have some announcements. I'm so happy. I received a call yesterday from White House Community over at their community clubhouse on April 24th. That's next Saturday from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. They're having their breakfast. $6 for adults. 6 to 12 years old is $3, and under that is free. And they their breakfast is so good. I like to go out and they have eggs and sausage, grits, hunter's liver mush. They said taters, not potatoes, but taters.
Oh, yeah, taters.
2 types of gravy, sausage gravy and regular gravy. Homemade applesauce. They have juice and coffee and biscuits and pancakes. I mean, just any, and it's all you can eat. So if you're out in that area, or if you're here in the community, just go ahead and go have breakfast at the White House Community Clubhouse, and then you can go over there to the Union Mills where Brenda Kelly was talking about there at Spring in the Mills.
Yeah.
I love to go. They really do plan that and have lots of vendors that are here locally, and it's just, I love it.
I know folks are excited to be out and about again, and these clubs are opening up their dining rooms and having breakfasts and lunches, and I think it's great that we're finally coming out of the dead.
Yes, love it. And then my daughter wanted me to announce that she is participating in a with the community pet center, and she's wanting to take items over there. She's trying to get paper towels, disinfectant wipes, and dry and canned kitten and cat food. So if anybody wants to donate to that, I'll be glad to come pick it up. It ends on April 22nd is the day that the last day for donations that she's doing, but I'm trying to teach her to be socially involved and
good
to help in the community, and she's excited about it because, like most children, they love animals,
Oh,
and
yeah.
she really does. She notices and wants to help them.
Well, good
So
for her.
anyway.
I applaud her for being willing to do that.
And like I said, the fire department didn't have any calls, so they've been calm and quiet as far as I know, and we like it that way.
Well, Tina, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy yourself, and we'll check back in with you next time.
Okay, head over to Miss Brenda Kelly, and you have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Tina. Tina White reporting out of the Shingle Hollow Fire District this morning. And we have right now, it looks like our temperature is about 46 degrees, and it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful day in the neighborhood. We have Braves baseball this afternoon. Braves will be playing the Cubbies, and that's a 10:20 first pitch. And we'll join the pregame. We'll do an hour of the Rush Limbaugh show, and then go into the Braves. High school football playoffs tonight. Thomas Jefferson traveling up to Murphy. That's a 7 p.m. airtime for us, 7:30 kickoff. We got to cheer the Griffins on. We got to win this game. Got to beat them. Come on, guys. You can do it. Be back with the next phone call going to Union Mills right after this.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers of Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. They continue to strive hard to keep that honor. Come on in and see for yourself. Take a look at the all-new design 2021 F-150 or reserve an all-new 2021 Bronco coming in the spring. Don't miss out on the automobile you've been wanting at the Sisk Family Ford price. Take your pick while the picking is good on Oak Street in Forest City.
When you hear someone say, I have finally found a heating and air conditioning company I can depend on, and you say, who? And they say, Immaculate Heating and Air Conditioning. So then you find out more and you learn Immaculate will do a spring checkup special on your air conditioner for only $49.99. Hot weather coming soon, and you want to be ready for it with a hassle-free air conditioner. Get it inspected during the spring checkup for the special price of $49.99. You can book online at www.immaculateheatingandair. That's immaculateheatingandair.com. Just click the green book online button at the top of the page or call 755-8150. By the way, this $49.99 spring special is for a limited time. Now, according to the clock, it's 7:37. Time for us to go to Union Mills and talk with Brenda Kelly about what's happening up in that community. And she's on the phone with me right now. Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning. How are you on this fantastic Friday morning?
I feel the same way.
I hear you. Glad it's finally Friday, huh?
I'm glad it's finally Friday, friend.
I was glad that the Braves won yesterday.
Boy, that was a really tight one there for a bit, wasn't it?
Yeah. But and it, I don't understand why. What, 2 or 3 times a week you hear of shootings. I just don't understand it.
I don't either. I think I know why people do it, but they got a black heart in there. They got a void. They got to fill it with something.
That's
and
right.
we've made it so easy for folks to do it and get away with it. And so many of the communities are saying, let's defund the police, and it opens up possibilities for people to say, well, we don't have any police in our community. Let's see what we can get away with.
Yeah.
We got to tighten back down again and hire more police and make the penalties more severe when people start shooting and breaking into buildings.
I know it. That's just awful. What was it, the FedEx place up in Indianapolis?
Yeah. There's no sense in people just going around shooting things up.
No, that's right. They ain't. Well, I'm the cold spot this morning. Do you believe that?
Yes, I do believe it.
I've got 36 degrees on the front porch.
Wow. Boy, you are cold this morning.
I checked it twice to make sure. Yeah, it's a little bit cold. I didn't have but one flower that I had outside, so I brought it in yesterday evening late. So if it by chance it did frost, it wouldn't kill it. So.
Wow. You just about have put a log on the fire this morning.
I ain't even built one yet. It's pretty warm here in the house, so it's been closed up, so it's not too bad. I want to send my Christian love and sympathy out to the family of Johnny Kelly. That was my husband's brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry.
He died with the same thing Donald died with.
Is that right?
Yeah. They took him to hospice. What's the day? Friday, Thursday, Wednesday evening, or Wednesday sometime, and he died yesterday morning at 20 after 5. So,
Well, I'm sorry.
but that's something we're all going to have to do sooner or later.
At some point in our life, we're not going out here
go
alive.
that way,
That's
ain't we?
right, and it just
Yeah.
pays to be ready.
That's what I was getting ready to say. You better make sure you're ready. You better know the man who's up above.
That's right.
Well, let's see. For rent, Union Mills Community House at 6097 Hudlow Road. Need a family-friendly setting for birthday party, graduation party, reunion, wedding reception. This is the place. $75 a day or $25 to set up the day before. For information, call Kay Briscoe at 223-6130 or Christine Amlins at 748-2669. And then we got Springtime in the Mill, Saturday, April the 24th, starts at 9 a.m. Over 50 vendors and food trucks, free admission, safety guidelines followed. Raffle tickets on sale, $1 each or 6 for $5. First prize is a Blackstone griddle. Second prize is spring theme wheelbarrow combo. And third prize is a beach theme cooler combo. And prize is sponsored by Rutherford Heating and Cooling. No, not Rutherford. Sponsored by Pritchard Heating and Cooling. I'm sorry. Do not have to be present to win. And other than that, I don't have anything else. I don't have any birthdays, anniversaries, or nothing. I just got a doctor's appointment today.
Do you really?
Yeah, I have to go every month and get that old shot.
Well,
But I'm so used to it, it don't bother me.
I was going to say, you're about used to that by now, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, I get it. But when I was getting the COVID shot, that was a little rough. You get one, and 4 or 5 days later, you have to go get a vitamin B12 shot.
Goodness. Just hold your arm out when you walk in the door. Here's my arm.
There you go. But we hope everybody has a good day, and you and Faye have a good weekend.
Thanks. I hope you have a good weekend. See you next time.
Okay, catch you later.
Bye-bye. 7:42 on this Friday morning call-around news report. Very popular time of morning for a lot of folks. And we appreciate you making it your number one listened-to program in the foothills. Thank you.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Now we're talking to Luther Gilligan over at Ellenboro. Luther, how's that biscuit?
Hey, it's tasting great. Coffee's good, the biscuit's good, and the sun's getting up. Hey, it's the beginning of a beautiful day.
Ain't life good?
It is good. Can't get any better than that. But it's quiet out here this morning, not a whole lot happening. Everybody just getting their gas and their biscuit and head on out to work. See, fire department, they're fairly quiet. They only had one call yesterday, medical call down on off Moore Road down in Caroline. Other than that, they've been quiet. Nothing going on with them. So you have a great day, Barry. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you Monday.
Have a good one now. See ya. Bye-bye.
Take care now.
Well, it leaves the time for birthdays and anniversaries for the 16th of the month, April 16th. Birthdays and anniversaries, you can call those into it. Take maybe just a minute to get your phone answered. I've got to do a live commercial here. But keep calling, and I will get that phone answered and get birthdays selected, and we'll announce them and give you a big shout-out coming up here in just a few moments. And I want to send you over to Joy's Bridal. I've stopped in there over there several times, and I'm so impressed with the inventory she has in there for brides attendants, and clothes for the groom as well. Joy has been at this for 28 years, and she still knows how important these big events are to you, and she's not happy until you're happy. Joy has 2 seamstresses and alteration experts on staff. You can rent your tux, buy them. Either way, you can always know that Joy's Bridal has what you need. Plenty of jewelry there as well for any occasion. If it's been a while since you've been to Joy's Bridal, it's worth a stop by. It's worth a look around. And you can pay your bills, your major credit card bills, utility bills, department store bills. You can pay all that there as well. They're a bill-paying collection agency. You'll be glad you shopped at home and glad you rediscovered Joy's Bridal in the Tri-City Mall.
Good morning. As we are experiencing the impact of COVID-19, let's stop predicting and let's prepare. Life changes, and then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called the unexpected. So when it comes to your financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm your Edward Jones financial advisor, Andrew Tisdale. A job loss, a change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call me today at 828-287-9197. Our office is located at Food Line Plaza in Rutherton. This is Edward Jones, making sense of investing, and a member of the SIPC. Bye.
That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today while they're fresh. They're good. They're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about.
Happy birthday.
Well, happy birthday wishes going out to Carol Deaton over she does some work over at East High School. Carolyn McDaniel of Ellenboro is retired, enjoying her family. And Judy Webb also is celebrating a birthday. I want to wish her a happy birthday as well. A lot of folks, we want to wish a happy birthday. Didn't call yours in, but we love it. Somebody asked me earlier this morning, you don't do birthdays anymore, do you? Yes, we do. Every morning right about this time, we have not been giving away donuts for a while because of the COVID thing. Once that fully released, we may get going back again with some more donuts. But we do still do birthdays. Just right about this time, we just are not giving away the donuts. Keep the traffic flow down to both here and there at Granny B's. But Granny B's new hours are Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So we hope you'll make your plans to go by there, pick up some donuts, or have a lunch with some one of those great subs or pizza. They got pizza right now. Great place. Go by Granny B's today.
Every new encounter we face has the potential to cause fear, panic attacks, and hesitancy. Some situations can be so fearful that one is given to flight. It is at times like this when the seasoned and more mature individuals need to be a steadying force for the newly experienced. InfoSearch tells about an English naval officer who was saved from dishonor in his first experience in battle. The enemy's volley of fire was so heavy that he was seized with fright and he almost fainted. His superior officer, seeing his plight, immediately rushed to his side and, putting his hands on the midshipman's arm, said, "Courage, my boy. You will recover in a minute or two. I was like you when I went into my first battle." The young man said later, "It was as if an angel had come to my side and put new strength in me." All around us, people are just starting out. Many are scared, nervous, and filled with apprehensions. The Bible exhorts us to encourage the timid, help the weak, and be patient with everyone. May I encourage you today to look around you for a person who needs a compassionate hand on the shoulder and a comforting word that says, "Courage, my boy. You will recover in a minute or two." This is Bill Hostler with today's key to confident living.
Coming up a little after 8 o'clock this morning, Mr. Friday Night, Jay Combs will be on the radio with me to talk about tonight's big game between Thomas Jefferson and Murphy High School. Be sure to stay tuned for that important information for Mr. Friday Night coming up. Now we're going to take you down memory lane a little bit and float some old songs for you to reflect on your memory days of yesteryear. All right here on the oldest station for the Foothills, WCAB.
The Atlanta Braves are back and ready to defend the East, and they're on a mission to make 2021 a season to remember.
FedEx facility in Indianapolis left 8 people dead. Authorities say the gunman killed himself, and there is no apparent link to terrorism. As the FBI assists in the investigation, ABC's Jim Ryan says families are waiting for news.
Near the scene of the shooting on the southwest side of Indianapolis, family members have gathered at a hotel searching for information about relatives who work at FedEx. This woman's grandson is an employee.
I hope, God, that he's not injured, and I hope a whole lot of other people are not injured either, but we don't know.
The wounded scattered from the building, some taken by ambulance to area hospitals, others driving themselves or taken by coworkers.
Authorities say 5 people were taken to hospitals with gunshot wounds, one of them critically hurt. There were protests in Chicago Thursday after police body cam footage was released showing a teenager with his hands in the air when he was fatally shot last month by a city police officer. ABC's Victor Oquendo's in Chicago with details.
Protesters marching down the streets of Chicago overnight, outraged over the killing of 13-year-old Adam Toledo by Chicago police. This is the newly released body cam video from the night the 7th grader was shot and killed.
Please stop! Stop right now!
That voice is 34-year-old Officer Eric Stillman chasing Toledo down an alleyway and firing a single shot. Footage showing Toledo with his hands up when he was killed.
Police say a gun was recovered at the scene, and Minnesota calls for tougher charges against former Brooklyn Center police officer Kim Potter. She's charged with second-degree manslaughter after the weekend shooting death of Dante Wright.
We shouldn't be patting ourselves on the back for baby steps towards equality.
Jeff Storms is an attorney for the Wright family. The head of Pfizer says a third coronavirus vaccine shot will likely be necessary, and there could be a yearly booster shot needed. You're listening to ABC News.
They're pounding on the door. They're calling on the phone. It's the collectors. It's those credit cards you ran up trying to start your business. Now you found out that a DBA hurts the family and brings the pain home.
Do you remember hearing these commercials on radio? For over 40 years, Ray Reynolds has helped customers get millions in credit. It's no wonder why they call him the godfather of credit. Ray Reynolds will get your score above 720. Do you need $50,000 of corporate credit? By using corporate credit, you can finance a business, buy real estate and stock under a corporation. Take advantage of numerous tax write-offs only available to a corporation. Now you can meet Ray Reynolds on his daily webinar at 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Monday through Friday, or call 800-490-4140 to find out more about his secrets to success in helping fix and improve your credit. Go to rayswebinar.com at 11 a.m. or 2 p.m. Monday through Friday and check out his free, very informative webinar, or call 800-490-4140 now. It's worth your time, and you'll learn a lot. That's rayswebinar.com, or call 800-490-4140.
In the Gulf of Mexico, search teams are still looking for 12 missing sailors after a commercial boat capsized earlier this week. Divers yesterday managed to get to the hull of the vessel and knocked, but did not hear a response. An area larger than the state of Rhode Island has already been searched. Police around Charlotte, North Carolina are trying to figure out if 2 recent murders of transgender women, both found in hotel rooms, are linked. Charlotte-Mecklenburg police spokesman Rob Tufano says,
the most important thing that we want to get across and communicate, especially with our LGBTQ community, especially members of those community who engage in sex work. They have to know that there is probably arguably never a more vulnerable time for them.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill approved a bill to try to help close the wage gap between men and women. ABC's Chuck Sievertson has the story.
The House passed the Paycheck Fairness Act Thursday in a party line vote. Only one Republican, Pennsylvania's Brian Fitzpatrick, voted with the Democrats. Before that, Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
I'd like to see some of our Republican women colleagues on the other side of the aisle say, I'll take 82% of what the salary is of our male counterparts in the Congress. I don't see anybody stepping up to do that.
The bill faces an uphill climb in the 50-50 Senate. Business groups say the bill could lead to class action lawsuits. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
This is ABC News.
O'Reilly. Cleaning your fuel system can make your car run better and improve gas mileage. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts and pick up a bottle of Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner and add it to your tank during your next fill-up. On sale now, buy one, get one free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Stop by and talk to our professional parts people today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
When you get a hankering for lunch, remember Jesse James Railroad Express.
They have a menu full of delicious items such as burgers, chicken salad croissants, fresh salads, hot dogs, taco salads, and much, much more. Don't forget the refreshing drinks like milkshakes, Coke floats, or hand-dipped ice cream. They are now serving French fries and onion rings. Hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until 4 p.m., closed Wednesdays and Sundays. For takeout, give them a call at 828-447-4644, located at 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherford. Don't forget, Mondays only, 99-cent hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions. That's Jesse James of Railroad Express. All aboard!
Hello everyone and happy Friday. This afternoon we'll see a mostly sunny sky becoming partly cloudy as more clouds filter in. Temperatures though cooler but still pleasant. Highs in the mid to upper 60s and near 70 this afternoon. Partly cloudy, chilly again tonight. We start in the 40s to near 50s Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon we'll see a mostly cloudy sky. Just a few small showers possible with highs in the low to mid 60s. Some of those showers continue Saturday evening and overnight. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Beautiful sunshine this morning, and we dropped a couple, 44 degrees right now. We started out at 46, 44, but we'll be climbing up to 68 for a daytime high and mostly sunny skies. Wind will be a factor today, wind gusting to about 13 miles per hour. But a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Maybe a little rain on Saturday, but nothing heavy. So let's embrace the weekend and enjoy yourself. 6 minutes after 8 o'clock, Mr. Friday Night coming up here with me in just a few moments.
Hey y'all, Joellen here. I'm here to invite you to Rutherford County's second annual 420 celebration. My Green Room is Rutherford County's first and only cannabis dispensary. We are located at 195 West Main Street in Spindale. My Green Room will be hosting the celebration of the world-famous cannabis holiday 420. We will be starting the celebration on Monday, April 19th and ending on Willie Nelson's birthday, April 29th. We will have door prizes, special discounts, new products, and of course, infused goodies. My Green Room is home to North Carolina's first cannabis smoking bar. The Bud Bar and Lounge will be open 11 to 6 on 420 with COVID precautions in place. My Green Room carries the highest quality CBD, Delta-8 THC, and Kratom. Dr. Roland D. Doobie will be making special appearances. My Green Room offers discount cards including 30% off for veterans and active military. Are you curious about hemp, CBD, Delta-8 THC, or Kratom? Come visit My Green Room for some education and fun. We have been part of Rutherford County since 2018, and we are excited to serve you for many more years. We'll see you at My Green Room soon. Happy 420. As always, keep it hempy.
Some news from here and there. Spindale Fire and Police are investigating an accident that occurred on Spindale Street yesterday afternoon. A Spindale man was airlifted to Spartanburg Regional after being hit while cutting grass on a riding mower. At 7 p.m. Thursday evening, the police were still on the scene. The name of the person hit and those involved are currently being withheld. More information will be made available as it comes available to us here at WCAB. Rutherford County Sheriff's Office is seeking the public's assistance in locating a missing person, Pamela Jackson LeGrand. LeGrand is a 56-year-old African-American female who was last seen on April 13th, 2021 in Rutherfordton. She may be wearing a blue button-up shirt and blue jeans. If you have information regarding the whereabouts of LeGrand, please contact the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office at 828-286-2911 or Crime Stoppers at 828-286-8477. Well, Tuesday, the town of Forest City filed a lawsuit against Florence Redevelopment Partners, LLC, for its failure to develop the Florence Mill property as contracted. After promises the former mill would be transformed into a mixed-up property with upscale apartments for the downtown area within 22 months, Florence Redevelopment Partnerships has failed to deliver that. Instead, completion of the project has continued to languish, so that lawsuit has taken place. Now, as promised, Mr. Friday Night on the air with me right now to talk about tonight's big game. Jay Coombs, good morning.
Well, good morning.
How are you doing today?
Trying to wake up.
Trying to get a little rest before tonight's long trail, huh?
Oh, we've got a long road trip ahead of us. Headed all the way up to Murphy. Wow. That's going to be about 3 hours up there and about 3 hours back late tonight. But talk about a classic matchup. These two skunks are 6-1. their only loss coming last week against their rival Robbinsville. Lost that game 17-7. First round of the 1A playoffs, the 1 small A West Division. Two coaching legends tonight. David Gentry up at Murphy has the most wins in North Carolina high school football history, 422. He's currently in his 36th season at Murphy, and he is a member of the National High School Football Hall of Fame. Of course, Thomas Jefferson head coach Jerry Cash, right behind him, 355 career victories. Jerry now in his 9th season at TJ. This is just a classic battle tonight. Now, a lot of the Mountain folks are really suspect of the Griffins. And I have to admit, the Smoky Mountain Conference that Murphy is a part of, I would say that Robbinsville and Murphy, to me, it reminds me they are the Shelby and Burns of the Western Mountain Athletic Conference. Those two schools, so much football tradition, history. Murphy has 8 state championship titles in their pocket. I don't know. I'm looking forward to a really good matchup tonight between the Griffins and the Bulldogs.
Griffins in good health. All the guys in healthy, no injuries to go into the game tonight.
Griffins had that open date last week, and they did not play. That probably came at a good time. I know at the beginning of the season, Coach Cash is not he's not a big fan of having an open date. He'd always rather be playing a game. But as it turned out this year, with some of the bumps and bruises and a couple of injuries that they did have, that week off last week has really helped. And other than some nagging injuries, the Griffins actually are in pretty good shape heading into tonight's game.
I bet they're really pumped up too mentally for that game as well, being all the excitement of where they're going and who they're playing against.
I hope so. That bus trip is going to be a long, long ride today. That sometimes can take a toll on a team, but I hope that they're really fired up tonight, and they're going into another one of those football environments. The whole town of Murphy almost shuts down on a high school football Friday night because everybody traditionally goes to the game. So I hate to say hostile. I don't know if that's the right word I would pick here, but they are going into a football stadium tonight that definitely the majority of the fans are not going to be in favor of them. It's going to be interesting, I believe.
That up there in Murphy with everybody turning out the game, it sounds a lot like the Gaffney High School Indians. When Gaffney plays on Friday night, don't call for breathing on anything. You might disturb the game. So everybody's there at Gaffney High School. That sounds like that's about what Murphy is.
Yep. And one thing to mention, Jim, the playoffs actually started last night. I didn't even know this was going to happen until late last night, and I caught it quite by accident. On the other side of the 1A bracket, Mitchell was hosting Huntersville, Christ the King. They went ahead and played last night. As I understand it, Christ the King had their prom scheduled for tonight, and they had that in place for quite some time. I guess maybe they didn't figure they could make the playoffs. They were the 4th team out of TJ's conference to get in. but it was not a good night for Christ the King up in Bakersville. Mitchell winning that one last night, 56-0. So, yeah, that will bring to a close the first ever playoff appearance for Christ the King.
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it is a 4-game series. If Thomas Jefferson wins, it'll be 4 games all the way into the state final playoffs there. Is that correct?
Yep. This year the playoffs have been shortened by a week. 32 teams in each of the divisions, the one small A, the one large A, 2A, 3A, 4A. Now, this will be the last time that we will have the subdivisions between the small, the A, and the large, the double A. That will be disappearing come this fall when they go simply to 1A playoff, 1 2A playoff, 3A, 4A, etc. This will be the last time that they will split. We'll actually have 8 state championships instead. Next fall, we're back to 4.
Speaking of fall, when this playoff's over with, 2 or 3 good deep breaths, it'll be time for fall football.
This is going to be a quick turnaround because everything is a go that the fall season will start as scheduled in August. Now, from the team perspective, this can work 2 ways. For those players who have any kind of injuries, this really shortens their rehab time as far as being able to come back quickly. But players are in pretty good shape physically right now. Wow, they may be able to maintain that easier with a shorter break. I think August is going to be very interesting as well to see how the players come out.
Well, WCAB certainly will be beaming that signal back down here to home folks, and 100.9 FM, 590 AM, and on our website at www.wcab59.com. And I believe you all also send out a few Facebook points, don't you?
Yeah, Cliff lives on Facebook, so yeah, you can follow us there. We also do some stuff on Twitter. That's my department. No, I do not have time to send out constant updates while the game is in progress. Cliff does on Facebook send out constant updates. And, of course, you can listen to us online. We have our own link. You can either go to WCAB59.com or we have our special page, WCABfootball.com. Either way will connect you to the link, and you can listen to us online.
Well, Jay, you and Cliff have a safe trip up there and safe trip back, and I hope they turn out well for you, and we'll look forward to hearing you tonight.
And it will be interesting because the winner of our game tonight will face either number 1 Elkin or number 8 Andrews next Friday night. Andrews makes that long road trip all the way up to Elkin. On paper you would say, oh, well, that's going to be Elkin. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. Andrews is not a bad team, so we'll have to wait and see how that turns out.
A lot of surprises this year anyway. Thanks, Jay Coombs.
Yeah, a lot of surprises because a lot of folks do not, and the biggest question this week, why TJ is undefeated. Why are they seeded number 5?
Yes.
And why do they have to travel probably every playoff game? Well, guess what? It came down to the luck of the draw. What happened was Pine Lake Prep and Thomas Jefferson both finished undefeated in their conference. But the state says, hey, one of you is going to have to be the number 1 playoff spot. One of you is going to be the number 2 playoff spot. So they had to have a drawing between the two. Well, guess what? Pine Lake Prep won that draw. They got the number 1 playoff seed. TJ took the number 2.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So it's a shame. Coach Cash does not have good luck with a draw over the years. If they could settle this playing 18 holes on the golf course, he'd have a much better chance.
Jay Coombs, have a great day and a good night, good travels, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
See ya. Bye-bye. Mr. Friday Night, Jay Coombs reporting before that big game tonight from Murphy, North Carolina. We will have that broadcast here live.
Smith's Drugs of Forest City is taking appointment times for the COVID-19 vaccination. There are 2 ways to schedule an appointment. First, go to our website at www.smithsdrugsfc.com and click on the COVID-19 vaccination tab. Then fill out the consent form, choose your group, and at that time you'll be able to choose an available appointment time. Second, you can just call our pharmacy to schedule an appointment time and we can help you fill out the consent form over the phone. We also at times do have some vaccines available later in the evening, and these are posted on Facebook when we do. If you have any questions or concern, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
WCAB would like to welcome a brand new business to Rutherford County, All Ray Tire Center in Forest City. These guys will be glad to take care of your vehicle needs and concerns. Of course, they carry tires, but they also specialize in oil changes, alignments, suspension, brake service. They also have a pickup and delivery service. When purchasing tires, they ask you to bring in the best prices, and they will beat it. Come by and let them prove it to you. Open Monday through Friday, 8 until 5. Saturdays, 8 until 12. That's All Ray Tire Center, 247 West Main Street in Forest City. Give them a call at 828-229-3246, your newest hometown tire store.
Do you need some extra money in your pocket? Try Insurance Service Associates, your local independent agent. We can shop your auto and home insurance with several companies to get you better coverage and the best rate. Insurance Service Associates at 127 East Trade Street in Forest City for auto, home, or commercial insurance. More choices, better coverage, best rate. That's Insurance Service Associates, 245-5301.
I want to tell you one more time about the huge yard sale this Saturday, tomorrow, from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. Vintage items, collectibles, furniture, creative memories, sewing items, crafts, kitchenware, home decor, and so much more. Located at 180 North Oak Street in Spindale. That's tomorrow, 8 a.m. until 2 o'clock. No early birds, please, but please show up. Officer King was with us this morning to give us a report from the Sheriff's Department, and here it is.
In the past 24 hours, Sheriff's Department responded to 166 calls for service. There were 14 arrests processed in the jail, and the jail currently has 141 people incarcerated. On our incident reports, Sarah Holt from Camp Road in Rutherford reported a breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering. And a Joseph Millwood from Rock Corner Road in Forest City reported a communicating threats. On our arrest reports, Joshua Van Buskirk from Treasure Way in Rutherford was arrested, charged with communicating threats, simple assault, injury to personal property, assault and battery, driving while license revoked, reckless driving to endanger, misuse of the 911 system, and resist, obstruct, delay a public officer. Received a $10,000 secured bond. Austin Mullinax from Butler Road in Forest City was served with 3 counts failure to appear on misdemeanor. No bond listed on that one. Christopher Brown from Mellon Drive in Rutherford was charged with possession of drug paraphernalia, received a $1,000 secured bond. Zachary Bumgardner from West Mountain Street in Rutherford was served with warrants for obtaining property by false pretense, identity theft, and felony larceny. Received a $50,000 secured bond. And Jacob Shores from Johnsonville Lockhart Highway out of Union, South Carolina, was served with warrants for first-degree trespass, injury to personal property, and felony larceny. And he received a $20,000 secured bond. And that's all we have for today.
Carolina Hurricanes snapped a 2-game skid by scoring 3 times in an 8-minute span over the first and second periods and beat the Predators 4-1 last night at the PNC Arena in Raleigh. Hurricanes head coach Rod Brindamore said they needed a good bounce-back performance after back-to-back losses against Detroit. You can practice all you want, but you just can't script it.
You don't know how the bounces are going to go. You don't know how the bounces are going to affect your group. I mean, there's just so many things that you don't really have control over a lot of times in games. But, we needed that kind of effort for sure. And then usually if you have that kind of effort, the chances go way up. And that's basically what happened.
Carolina's win keeps them tied with Tampa Bay atop the Central Division. The Lightning kept pace by beating the Florida Panthers in overtime 3-2. Victor Hedman getting the goal there. The Lightning and Hurricanes 1 point ahead of Florida. Giannis Antetokounmpo was among 7 Milwaukee Bucks to score in double figures in a 120-109 win in Atlanta. That keeps the Hawks stalled at 2 games in front of Charlotte in the Southeast Division. The Hornets can try to cut the lead tonight when they take on the Nets in Brooklyn. Head coach James Borrego talked about the grueling schedule following Wednesday night's loss to Cleveland, their 3rd straight defeat.
This is unprecedented. I mean, these guys are gassed. It's no excuse. Every team is. That's just the nature of the season. My goal here moving forward is just to keep this group healthy and moving forward. But I'm not going to run our guys into the ground, finding more injuries here across the board. I got to be smart with our group.
Cameron Smith birdied the difficult 17th and 18th holes at Harbortown to shoot a 9-under 62 and have a 1-shot lead over Stuart Sink through 1 round at the RBC Heritage at Hilton Head. Defending champ and Raleigh native Webb Simpson was even par. He's tied for 67th. North Carolina forward Garrison Brooks is the latest Tar Heel to split from Chapel Hill. He's heading to Mississippi State. He joins Walker Kessler and Sterling Manley as departures. The Heels also lost freshman Dayron Sharp. He's declared for the NBA draft. This is NCN Sports.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to the Raleigh-Durham area this summer. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 28 different sports. The Body Armor State Games feature 12,000 athletes and 600 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Lowe's Foods, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
If you still need health insurance, listen up. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina wants you to know that you don't have to pay a lot for a reliable plan. In fact, with new federal subsidies, more people than ever will pay $0 a month. You heard me right, $0 a month. So go to bestwithbluecrossnc.com to get a free rate quote. That's bestwithbluecrossnc.com. Premiums depend on plans available in your area, including subsidies determined by the federal government.
The NFL is bringing back the Draft-a-thon.
The 3-day fundraiser will coincide with the NFL Draft, April 29th through May 1st, and raise money and awareness for pandemic recovery efforts. The fundraiser will focus on 4 national nonprofit organizations that support underserved communities, including the CDC Foundation and Feeding America. Last year, the league raised $6.6 million during the event, but the NFL donated more than $100 million to COVID relief efforts in 2020. Draft-a-thon airs on ESPN, the NFL Network, and all social media platforms. Monica Ricks, CBS News.
Tokyo Olympic organizers are again being forced to assure the world that the postponed Summer Games will open in just 3 months despite surging COVID-19 cases in Japan. The Olympics are set to open July 23rd. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
Hello, everyone, and happy Friday. This afternoon, we'll see a mostly sunny sky becoming partly cloudy as more clouds filter in. Temperatures, though, cooler, but still pleasant. Highs in the mid to upper 60s and near 70 this afternoon. Partly cloudy, chilly again tonight. We start in the 40s to near 50s Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, we'll see a mostly cloudy sky. Just a few small showers possible with highs in the low to mid 60s. Some of those showers continue Saturday evening and overnight. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Beautiful, great getting up morning here in the foothills. Beautiful sunshine out there. We're up to 48 again. Started out 46, dropped a couple, back up to 48. Climbing the ladder to 68 degrees this morning. About noontime, we'll have a beautiful day. Wind will be blowing, though, gusting to about 13 miles per hour. Going to be a great day, great weekend. A little rain may be coming tomorrow, but you can embrace the weekend and do some nice things outdoors with family, hopefully. It's 8:30. This is WCAB Rutherfordton, 100.9 FM, 590 AM, serving the foothills of the Carolinas. It's time now for Word of Faith radio program, and with the program this morning is Stefanza and Sabrina McIntyre, and here is Mark Morris.
Good morning, and welcome again to Word of Faith Fellowship radio program. Today we have a great program for you. You're going to hear powerful testimonies from Stefanza and Sabrina. And it is amazing what God has done in their lives. God brought them to Spindale, North Carolina, to our church many years ago, all the way from North Carolina coast. And you're going to hear all about their journey and how God has come to them. Their life was going the wrong way, but God came and brought them the right way. So it's going to be a wonderful morning. And so let's go ahead and start off with Stefanza. Go ahead.
Good morning, Rutherford. I'm Stefanza McIntyre. It's grateful to be here this morning. Like Mark said, my testimony, I can start back, as small growing up. Never really had a whole lot. I always had a desire of God in my heart. I knew that. I knew He was real, but I didn't know what it meant as far as actually knowing Him. I was raised up in church. And I remember up to the age of 18, that senior year of school, my life really took a different, directions. I went to smoking, I went to hanging out, with relatives and friends at clubs, drinking, and I remember just to share the goodness of God. I didn't see it as the goodness of God then. At one time, my life, well, actually more than once, but my life was at the point of being over. I remember my senior year of school. I remember skipping school, going to the beach with a friend of mine and a relative of my wife's. And we got out on this beach. I get out on this big inner tube, he and I drinking. And I get so far out at sea and I realize everybody's real small. Well, my friend had sense enough to get off the tube when he felt himself getting out too far. And I go out floating, and then I get to the point to where I realize I can't bring this thing back in. So I decided to let go of the inner tube and try to swim back to shore. Well, I got nowhere. I went down. And I fought my way back up, and I went down again, I remember. And I fought my way back up again. I went down, no inner tube anywhere. And I remember fighting up, and it was like I was at the point of that last time. And fighting coming up, my arm went straight through the center of that inner tube. And I pulled myself up, and a wave came. And it washed me from that point all the way up till my feet hit the sand on that shore. And I just realized, then, I thank God, because I knew then that He did it. Yes. Although my heart still wasn't at that time to serve Him, but I knew He existed. I knew He was real, but my heart was just not ready to serve Him. I mean, it really wasn't. I just enjoyed my sin. It's pretty much what it boiled down to. So I go on with my life. I go on in my sin. I eventually graduate from high school, and I went to the military, come back, and I eventually goes to running, not only going to nightclubs, now I go to running a nightclub. I remember certain instances where there were situations where I could have ended up in prison, or I could have ended up in the grave. God spared me from those, but I still love my sin. I just kept right on going. And one night, I was at another club, and there was a situation going on, and a relative of mine was involved. And I remember walking towards that situation, and the gun went off. And I stopped, and it's like I was in a world by myself. Everything sounded different. Everything seemed different, like it was in slow motion or something. But anyways, I started to walk, and I realized a pain hit me. So I grabbed my abdomen. Well, I was thinking maybe it was something I ate. I've never been food poisoned, but I've heard about food poisoning, and I thought maybe that's what it was. Maybe a bad crab or something. So I stand up. I start walking again. I take a couple of steps, and this pain hits me again. Well, when it hits the second time, and I grab myself, I realize I'm wet around my abdomen area. And I look at my hand, and I realize, Mark, I'm short. My hand is red. My shirt was red, so that's why I couldn't physically see it in the beginning. And but anyways, I was taken to the hospital with some friends of mine. A hospital I didn't want to go to. The service of it to me, was more life-threatening than the actual shot. I was really afraid to go to that hospital, but they panicked. They wanted to get me somewhere as quick as they could. It was the closest one. So I never lost conscience. I walked to the car. We went to the hospital. They worked on me there. But in the middle of all this, I felt a peace. Even though in the natural looked like my life was in a threat, which it was, but I had a peace that I was going to be okay. I didn't recognize where that was coming from. You know what I'm saying? But now I know it was actually God.
Right.
It was His keeping power was what I was feeling, and so I stayed at the hospital. They checked my IV. They were asking me questions, who I was, who's the president, what day it was, and I just didn't feel like I was getting the help I needed. So I finally told the doctor, can you please transport me to the hospital in Wilmington? That's where I really wanted to go. And they wouldn't. So my thought is, they're going to keep me here till I die, I'm really getting afraid for my life now, And, my blood pressure got to the point to where they finally had to transport.
Did they find where the bullet was lodged? Was the bullet still in you? Was it lodged in you, or did
Yes.
it go all the way through?
Yes, the bullet actually hit me on the left side of my chest, and it went through to the right side.
Okay. So you still have the bullet in you.
I did.
You're at the hospital. You're hoping they know what they're going to do and get it out. So.
Exactly. And it's like they're doing nothing but asking me questions,
Right.
And it's like I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting scared,
Right. I could understand.
And they couldn't. I guess they was afraid to put me under anesthesia because of my condition. That's my thought. Mm-hmm. So they had to cut me to make a drain. I didn't realize what it was then, but I had that done with no pain medicine. Now you talk about the grace of God. That was very painful, right. But God still, He endured me through that. I remember a doctor patting me on the shoulder. He says, "You're gonna be okay," and a nurse behind him tells him, "Don't make any promises you can't keep." Then I'm really discouraged.
Right.
So eventually my blood pressure to the point one says, "We've got to transport." I'm thinking, Lord help me. So they load me up in the ambulance. We start to the hospital that I really wanted to go to, and they had just constructed this new interstate from that hospital to Wilmington, and the ambulance or the caretakers in there, they're talking about the time, that they're making on this new interstate and all. And they warned me in the beginning if I had any trouble breathing, to let them know. Mm-hmm. So they're going on about the time they're making, and, and they're really enjoying this interstate, this new road. And all of a sudden, my breath is gone. I can't breathe. And I can't say anything. They're communicating with each other, And I'm like, what am I going to do? So I waved the covers. And it finally got his attention, and he turns to me. He said, "You're having trouble breathing." I nod my head, and he picked me up, and I guess it was my lungs filling with fluid or blood or whatever, and that's what I began to start throwing up. And so I got my breath back. I got to the Wilmington Hospital. They gave me care there. I went straight into surgery. Oh, and that same night while I was in Wilmington at the hospital, we were expecting a baby. Well, my wife comes in. Well, she wasn't my wife then, but she come in behind me. So here we are. We're both in the hospital. I'm fighting for my life, and she's giving life.
She was there having a baby at the same hospital.
Yes, at the same hospital.
You're over there getting a bullet out of you while she's having your baby.
Exactly.
Why weren't you with your wife at the hospital instead of at a nightclub?
I know, right? Well, she actually, Mark, she wasn't. She was at home.
She was at home. Okay.
Yes.
So she was about to.
Right.
About to come to the hospital.
Yes. So I'm at the club by myself.
Okay.
But it wasn't time for me to have the baby yet. So when I heard about the gunshot with Stefanza, so a lot of people came to my house where I was, and they told me Stefanza's been shot. It sent me into labor.
Okay.
It wasn't time for me to deliver.
Okay.
Right. So it forced me into labor. So when I heard of it, they took me straight to the hospital because I started contracting.
So you're both at the hospital then.
We're both at the hospital.
Labor and bullet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And but I had surgery. All went well. The bullet, they told me, went through my lungs. I found out later, and right up under my heart. It was a few centimeters from my heart, and it stopped just on the right side. During this first surgery, they didn't actually take the bullet out. They did exploratory to see what damage was done on the inside. So once I got home from that surgery, I remember laying on my bed, and the bullet was like right up under my skin, and I would sit there and I would just flip it. It was just right up under my skin over here. But I eventually had it removed. But anyways, again, that was the keeping power of God on my life.
Right.
Absolutely. I'm out there loving my sin, just like, a lot of people are today,
Right.
And you don't realize, just the dangers, the traps that the devil has, what I'm saying, for us while we're out there.
When you were doing the night clubbing, at any time you said you grew up with the heart for God. I mean, were you going to church at all when you were doing the night clubbing?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
Yes. I was going to church, but during then, it's like we go to church, we leave church, and go straight to the nightclub, either go there and start shooting pool until dark, and it's time for the music and all that, that was the lifestyle. But I knew it wasn't right. And at least I got convicted about that part. Eventually, I got convicted about that part. I knew I wasn't ready to give up my sins, so I just stopped going to church.
Okay. Well, in the nightclub, you and I were talking about that. The lifestyle was gambling, drinking.
Yes.
Just the dancing, music, just all of those things the world has.
Exactly. And the wages. What I think about, there's a scripture that talks about the wages of sin, is death. I mean, it could be death naturally, which what could have happened in my case, but it didn't, thank God. Or death spiritually, and that's what was happening to me. I was dying spiritually. In the natural, it looked like, hey, we're having fun. But inside, my heart was longing for something else.
Right.
I knew God existed. I tried to have fun to please myself, to make life as enjoyable as I could, It was like a fun, you run in this club and you get all, you have all this money in your hand, and it just look like you're doing so good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And life is just grand, when truly it wasn't, because for one, it wasn't what God intended for me, and it really wasn't what made me happy.
Right.
It was like acting happy. It was an act, because I was hiding my true feelings. I didn't even know how to deal with what I truly felt. I had no direction, But eventually, after all this, my wife decided, she had enough. This lifestyle is enough, and she told me she's going to start going to church. And I thought, well, good. I didn't think it would make a difference with her. I knew how it was with me, so my thinking, well, she'll be back, doing the same stuff. She started going to a church in Wilmington that was actually affiliated with Word of Faith. I didn't know it at the time, but after going there for a couple of weeks, I noticed the change, not in just my wife, but my daughter. She was, at the time, I think 6, about 6 years old. She seemed happy. I noticed that. That really drew my attention. So, in my thinking, something with this is really right, So, I decided to experience it for myself. I went to see what was going on. I remember the 10 Commandments, like coming up, that TV show is what I'm talking about, with Moses and all that. I knew God was real. He was big. He was holy. You know what I'm saying? Those things I knew in my mind. But seeing the difference in my child, it was something my heart was longing for. My spirit was longing for.
Right.
For her. You know what I'm saying? But not just for her. I saw something in her that I wanted. So when I went to check this out, and I walked into that church, because I knew in my heart somewhere there's a people that really want to serve God. I knew that in my heart. And when I went in this church, the feeling that I felt in the spirit, I knew this is it. This is it. Everybody was happy. The children was happy. So I understood what happened to my daughter and what happened to my wife. So immediately then I decided, that's it. I left the nightclub. I was smoking. I stopped the smoking. I stopped the gambling. I'd even tried drugs. All of that, it just left. God strengthened my heart. Obviously, he was working on my heart when I didn't even know it or realize it. You know what I'm saying? To walk away from all of that like I did, I know now that was a work of God that was taking place in my heart. Because He knew what my heart wanted.
Yes.
Even though I didn't, and He gave it to me.
That's right.
Again.
Well, we just have a few minutes left, and I want Sabrina to share, but just in a minute, if you could, just summarize, what can you share with people? Is there people from your past that you still talk to in that life? So what can you share with people about happiness? You thought you had happiness.
Yes.
How are you now with being happy and satisfied? What can you tell people out there that, like you were, they were going to church, and then, like you said, you were going to church and then the nightclub after the church.
Right.
But what can you just kind of summarize in a minute with people out there to know what real happiness is, what real purpose is?
Real happiness, real purpose is serving Jesus, seeking Jesus, knowing who He is. When my lifestyle changed, when I thought doing what I thought was fun, it was not fun at all. Serving Jesus, He gives my life direction.
That's right.
He gives me purpose. My heart is fulfilled. That's what makes me happy.
Absolutely.
That, I believe, is what every heart longs for. I don't care who you are. And you may be out there like I was, doing just whatever to make you feel happy. But God is that's true happiness.
Absolutely. Well, and you are truly happy. I've been around you and your family. You're totally happy. It's a miracle. I was shocked when you were sharing your life with me, and I hadn't heard all of this until recently. You were sharing it, and you're a miracle. I mean, I thought about the bullet. You said it was a few centimeters from your heart.
Yes.
I mean, God protected you so much, and it's a miracle that you're here today, and it's a miracle that God not only protected you physically, but spiritually.
Exactly.
You turn your heart. That's even the bigger.
That's the bigger thing, spiritually.
Because you were spiritually dying.
Exactly.
And you were, in the natural, you were almost dying, but spiritually you were dying.
Exactly.
So Sabrina, we have some time left. You share with us about your testimony.
Okay, hi, Rutherford County. So just to back up a little bit with Stefanza, because we weren't married. So when I told Stefanza about that change, I actually had an experience with God is what brought about the change. So one night, because my mom, we moved from Brooklyn, New York to New Jersey to the coast. So when we moved here, my grandmother was a Christian, and then my mom started going to church. So I knew about God. Okay, I knew about God. I knew things about God. I knew He was real, like Stefanza said. So, going through that, when I got older and I started having a relationship with Stefanza, I kind of got out there. I just went to the clubs, and he would run the clubs, so I would be a part of the clubs. And I would say of my mom has 5 children. I think I was a chief sinner, really, because I was the worst. I was in and out of, I went to jail for like 2 weeks. So, and then, I had things going on. I was smoking marijuana. I was drinking. And so all that was a part of that club life. Because that's what we knew. Growing up, that's what you're a part of, is the club life. So one particular night, because Stefanza and I, we would go back and forth with relationship and, just back and forth. And so not long after we had our first child, we were split up, things like that. And that's what you do when you're in the world. You get mad, you blow up, and then you separate for a while. So I remember going to my mom's house. And back then, I had these different personalities. 1 minute I wanted to be blondie, then the next minute I wanted to have red hair. I didn't know what I wanted. So I shaved all my hair off, and except for a portion of it, it was red as a firecracker. So I went to my mom's house, and I walked in. I was dressed terribly, and I wasn't even taught that way. Like, I did everything that she taught me when she knew. I did total opposite. Like, I did total. I can't even tell you why I did it. I just did it. And I know now that it was demons. But I had this personality because if I wasn't fighting, I was in something all the time. So I remember one day, I went to my mom's house, and I had this red hair and all these different this clothes that I knew I shouldn't have had on. I didn't even know she was home. So she came out from her room, and my eyes got real big because I didn't know she was home. And she said to me, "You are headed for shipwreck." And I didn't say a word because I was very respectful of my mother. I respect my parents, my mother. And it kind of gripped me when she said it. And I took it in because I knew she was a Christian. I knew my mom, whatever she said, something was going to happen. So she said that, and it gripped my heart for a few moments. It kind of put some fear in me, like, what's going to happen to me when I leave here? So I left that particular day. I didn't say anything. She just told me that, and I got in my car and I left. So this was probably on a Thursday. So on a Friday night, I went out with my friends' club. Stefanza and I, we were not together. So I went out with my friends, and I got so high off of marijuana. I didn't know this at the time, but it was laced with something, either embalming fluid at the time or cocaine. I'm not sure. But I remember I had an apartment, and my oldest daughter, and I had a son. He was 17 months. I went home, and the apartment that I had no windows in the room because it was like a Head Start building. That was what I lived in. They made a Head Start building with apartments. So I went in that room with no windows. I can't even tell you. I think my children were with my mom or with his mother. I went in the room that night. I don't even remember how I got home. I don't remember how I got home. But I remember laying in that bed. I was so high. I didn't know if I was going to come down. I didn't know if I was going to die. I didn't know if I was going to live. But I remember inside what my mom had said. And I remembered inside, I can call on God. When I said, God, in myself, I couldn't even talk. But in myself, I said, God, if you bring me down off this high, I promise I'll serve you. In my heart, Mark, I can't even tell you, I couldn't even speak it out. But it was inside of me that it was a voice. It was inside of me. When I said that, I fell asleep. When I woke up, I knew what had happened to me that night. But I was surprised that I was still alive. I was surprised. I was totally transformed that night because I knew God did something.
Right.
I knew it. It did something. And something happened to me. From that day, I went back to my mom. We had conversations. She said, you need to go to church. I said, I don't want to go to church because I got red hair. She said, I don't care. You're going to church. Because I knew I wanted something best for my children. I knew I had promised God. When I did, I went to this church, and it was New Covenant at the time in Wilmington. And I met with the pastor, Sue Dottie was her name. I wept and I cried because I knew the path that I was on, I was going down the wrong path. So when I started going to church, to Sue's church, I came back to Stefanza about 2 weeks. I said, listen, me and my children, we're serving God. You can do what you want to do. You can go where you want to go, and you can have whoever you want to have. But as for me and my children, we're going to serve God.
It's great.
That's what happened. Transformation. And in John the 3rd chapter, when Nicodemus did not know how to be changed, God said, unless you're born of the water and of the Spirit, you will never see God. That was reality to me. That was the point that I started to change. And I know at that age that when I changed, people were shocked. They came to because I was the chief sinner, okay? Let me tell you, Burgal, you can ask the phones, they knew Sabrina. I mean, it was bad, right? But when I changed, shocked. You talking about shocked. Stefanza can tell you. Shocked. When they came to my door, it was a group of people came to my door because it was time to drink. It was time to party, whatever. I said, you know, the things I used to do, I don't do no more. They said, what do you mean? What's wrong with you? I said, nothing's wrong with me. I said, the things that I used to do, I don't do anymore. That started to change. And from that day to this day, anytime I go through a hard time, I think about God's goodness. I think about his grace. I think about his mercy, because we all have those moments.
That's right. Very powerful, Sabrina. Thank you so much for sharing. And you shared such a key about being born again. You know, you tried it. You knew about God. Your mom raised you about God, but you just had this whole lifestyle that was opposite. You said, I don't know why, but I just went the opposite.
I just did.
And until you actually became born again. And I love what you said about Jesus said, you have to be born again, born anew, born in the Spirit. And what happens, both of you have seen this in your lives, when you were truly born again, your life was totally transformed. Yes. All of a sudden, you think differently, you feel differently.
Yes.
You don't want the whole lifestyle in the dark pits of the nightclubs and the drinking. And you know, you can probably look back now and see just absolutely what a pit is. Why would I want that when you have true life in Jesus Christ? So what a powerful testimony. You both are absolute miracles, and thank you for sharing. You are hearing from Word of Faith Fellowship, and that's Stefanza and Sabrina that have just shared with you. God has done such miracles in their lives. And so we are on this program every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8:30 to 9. We have so many more testimonies. We actually just finished a series on near-death experiences, and you can actually watch these testimonies. We're videoing these radio programs, and you can go to our website. It's wordoffaithfellowship.org. You'll see lots of great videos. Thank you very much.
More music, WCAB.
Black man.
Ben Crump is an attorney for Wright's family. Kim Potter, the now former police officer who said she mistook her gun for her taser, was arraigned on a second-degree manslaughter charge Thursday. She's now free on bond. Not far away, former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin's defense rested. He chose not to testify. He's facing the most serious charges in connection with George Floyd's death last year. Closing arguments are expected next week. In Chicago, protests after police body cam video was released of the fatal shooting of 13-year-old Adam Toledo last month. Video shows a chase, the officer telling Toledo to drop it, and the teen turns just before the officer shoots him in the chest. A still frame shows that he's not holding anything in his hands, and family attorney Adina Weiss-Ortiz said,
"The officer screamed at him, 'Show me your hands.' Adam complied, turned around. His hands were empty when he was shot in the chest at the hands of the officer."
Police say a gun was recovered at the scene. Coronavirus vaccinations continue, but so do health warnings from experts like Dr. Anthony Fauci on Capitol Hill Thursday.
We're at a precarious situation with many states having increases in the daily number of cases.
Today, President Biden hosts the Prime Minister of Japan at the White House. You're listening to ABC News.
Paid for by government.com. Have you heard? A recent stash of 1879 $10 Gold Liberty coins has been found. These gorgeous 1879p gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck, and less than 30 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Just call government.com at 1-800-333-2210, and you are guaranteed a mint condition 1879 $10 Gold Liberty struck at the iconic Philadelphia Mint. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These 1879 gold coins are still in uncirculated condition. That is 142 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-333-2210. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-333-2210 now to secure your 1879p Gold Liberty coins before they sell out. That's 1-800-333-2210.
Simon & Schuster is now backing away from plans to help distribute an upcoming book written by one of the police officers involved in the raid that killed Breonna Taylor. Louisville Police Sergeant John Mattingly was shot in the leg during the raid by Taylor's boyfriend. The book is being published by Post Hill Press, which initially had a deal for distribution with Simon & Schuster. There's no word yet on what this decision means for the book's publication. You can now see the effects of climate change in high speed thanks to Google Earth.
The tool was unveiled Thursday, billed as the biggest update to Google Earth in 5 years. The video feature draws upon nearly 4 decades of satellite imagery to vividly illustrate how climate change has affected glaciers, beaches, forests, and other places around the world. Google says they worked in concert with several government agencies, including